Research suggests that more than 90% of animal species that once lived on Earth are no longer around today. However, evidence suggests that some of these species may still exist. Today, we'll explore some of the most surprising rediscoveries of animals that science believed were extinct, yet nature quietly preserved. The crested gecko is a species of arboreal gecko from New Caledonia, known for its distinctive crest-like skin extensions and vibrant colors. These fascinating creatures live in tropical forests, often among trees and shrubs, where cracks and crevices provide excellent shelter. For a long time, these geckos were thought to be extinct. After being described in the 19th century, no confirmed sightings were recorded for many decades. Then everything changed in 1994, when researchers including Robert Seep and Friedrich Wilhelm Henkel rediscovered them during an expedition to New Caledonia. The species, scientifically known as Coelacanth ciliatus, was later placed in the genus Rhacodactylus before being reassigned back to Coelacanth in 2012. For much of the 20th century, it was considered possibly extinct, as it had not been observed in the wild for more than 100 years. But here's the twist that nobody saw coming. The crested gecko was never actually extinct. When researchers finally found them again, they discovered thriving populations that had been living undisturbed in their natural habitat. Today, they are bred in large numbers in captivity and have become one of the most popular pet gecko species in the world. Their rediscovery is a powerful reminder that sometimes extinction is just a matter of not looking in the right places. The coelacanth's rediscovery is one of the most remarkable stories in natural history. Known for their lobed fins and unusual form, these fish were thought to have vanished 66 million years ago during the end Cretaceous extinction. With a fossil record stretching back over 360 million years, they were regarded as long-extinct relics. That changed in 1938, when Marjorie Courtenay-Latimer, curator of the East London Museum in South Africa, obtained a strange fish caught near the mouth of the Chalumna River, now the Tyalomque River. She contacted ichthyologist James Leonard Brierly Smith, who confirmed it as a living coelacanth. The species was named Latimeria chalumnae, honoring Courtenay-Latimer and the River of Discovery. The find, often likened to a living dinosaur, reshaped evolutionary science. The coelacanth's lobed fins, resembling early limb structures, suggest a link between aquatic species and the first land vertebrates. Its smooth, undulating swimming style reflects traits preserved since ancient times. Since then, coelacanths have been found around the Comoros Islands and off Sulawesi, Indonesia. They favor deep volcanic slopes and underwater caves, remaining rarely seen. Two species are now recognized, Latimeria chalumnae of the western Indian Ocean and Latimeria menadoensis of Indonesia. These deep-sea fish can reach 700 m, grow over 2 m long, weigh up to 198 pounds, and live an estimated 60 years, making them one of the most extraordinary rediscoveries in biology. The Nautilus is a mollusk belonging to the family Nautilidae, often called a living fossil because its lineage dates back more than 500 million years. Unlike most cephalopods, which evolved rapidly, the Nautilus has retained its ancestral form. It inhabits a coiled shell divided into chambers, with the animal living in the outermost one. The inner chambers function much like a submarine's ballast tanks, allowing it to control buoyancy. This unique design enables the Nautilus to thrive at depths of up to 600 m. Its slow movement and ability to retreat deep into the ocean help protect it from predators, the traits that have contributed to its extraordinary survival while countless other species disappeared. Today, 6 recognized species of chambered nautilus remain, including Nautilus pompilius. However, their numbers are declining due to overharvesting for their ornate shells and the pearly layer inside, known as nacre, which is used in jewelry. Nautiluses are found in tropical Indo-Pacific waters, notably around Fiji, the Philippines, Papua New Guinea, the Great Barrier Reef, and parts of the Indian Ocean such as Oman. Despite their wide range, populations are fragmented and vulnerable. As with the coelacanth, the Nautilus represents a rare link to Earth's ancient past, surviving largely unchanged for hundreds of millions of years. If you think this video deserves more attention, hit the hype button right below after pressing like. Each hype helps this video get recommended more often. Furcifer voeltzkowi, the Voeltzkow's chameleon, had not been seen since 1913, leading many to believe it was extinct. For more than a century, no verified sightings were recorded. That changed in 2018, when researchers with the Global Wildlife Conservation Search for Lost Species program rediscovered the species during an expedition in northwestern Madagascar. This rediscovery was remarkable not only because of the long absence from science but also because it was the first time females had ever been documented. The females displayed striking coloration patterns, especially during pregnancy, adding to the species' uniqueness. Voeltzkow's chameleons are notable for their short lifespans, likely only a few months for adults, similar to their close relative, Laborde's chameleon. They inhabit lowland forests and degraded habitats in Madagascar's northwest, making them highly vulnerable to deforestation and habitat fragmentation. Since 2018, sightings have remained extremely limited, and the species is considered threatened due to its restricted range and environmental pressures. Its rediscovery highlights both the fragility of Madagascar's biodiversity and the importance of ongoing conservation efforts to ensure such species are not lost again. The frilled shark is one of the ocean's most ancient predators, often called a living fossil because its lineage dates back more than 80 million years. With its long, eel-like body and distinctive 6 pairs of frilled gill slits, it inhabits deep waters of the Atlantic and Pacific, including Suruga Bay, Japan, where it has occasionally been observed. Adults typically reach about 2 meters in length and are dark brown in color. This shark's most striking feature is its mouth, around 300 trident-shaped teeth arranged in 25 rows, perfectly suited to snag slippery prey such as squid. Its serpentine swimming style, resembling an eel, makes it an efficient ambush predator. Studies suggest frilled sharks feed mainly on cephalopods, but also take bony fish and smaller sharks. Encounters with frilled sharks are rare, because they usually live at depths of 500 to 1,200 meters. Most scientific knowledge comes from specimens caught accidentally in deep-sea fisheries, and a few live individuals briefly kept in captivity. Although widespread, frilled sharks are considered near-threatened, facing risks from deep-sea fishing pressures. Their survival into the modern era highlights the resilience of this ancient lineage. Monoplacophorans are a group of deep-sea mollusks once thought to have vanished about 400 million years ago. That assumption collapsed in 1952, when scientists dredged up 10 living specimens from depths of over 3,500 meters off the Costa Rica. Until then, fossil forms were all that were known, and some 19th-century finds had even been misidentified as limpets because of their simple cap-like shells. Since their rediscovery, about 30 living species have been described, all classified in the order Trebleteidae. They retain features remarkably similar to Paleozoic fossils, such as a single domed shell and serially repeated organs. This segmentation once suggested they might represent the ancestral mollusk or even a link between mollusks and annelid worms. Modern studies, however, indicate that monoplacophorans are not primitive ancestors but rather a specialized branch of the mollusk lineage. Their unusual anatomy, especially their shell structure and musculature, provides valuable clues about early molluscan evolution, but their biology remains poorly understood. Much about their reproduction, development, and ecological role is still a mystery, making them one of the most fascinating examples of a living fossil rediscovered in modern times. And before we continue unfolding this fascinating discovery, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any future episodes. Don't forget to share with your friends too. It helps the channel out, and I'm excited to continue bringing you more awesome content. The Albany adder is one of the rarest snakes in the world, found only in the eastern Cape of South Africa. First described in 1937, it was long feared to be on the brink of extinction, with only a handful of specimens ever recorded. For decades, no new individuals were found, and the species was considered critically endangered and possibly lost. This small, venomous viper, reaching just 20 to 25 cm in length, has a cryptic pattern that blends seamlessly with its environment, making it nearly impossible to detect. It inhabits rocky outcrops and dense coastal thicket, areas that are difficult to survey. Its extreme rarity and secretive habits explain why it has eluded researchers for so long. Encouragingly, A series of rediscoveries since 2016 has confirmed that the Albany adder still survives in the wild. These findings suggest that tiny, scattered populations may persist in remote parts of the Eastern Cape. However, habitat loss and human development continue to threaten its survival. The bush dog is a small, stocky canid native to Central and South America, inhabiting forests, wetlands, and savannas. Highly social, they live in packs of up to a dozen individuals, using a wide range of vocalizations to communicate in dense habitats. They are excellent swimmers, with partially webbed feet that help them hunt in and around water. The bush dog is the only living member of its genus, with the man wolf considered its closest living relative. Despite their small size, typically only 5 to 8 kg, they can bring down prey larger than themselves, often hunting cooperatively. Their diet includes rodents such as agoutis and pacas, as well as larger prey like capybaras. The species was first described in 1842 by Danish naturalist Peter Wilhelm Lund, who initially identified it from fossil remains in a Brazilian cave. Because of this, it was long believed to be extinct until living individuals were later confirmed across South America, with their range extending as far north as Panama and Costa Rica. Today, bush dogs are listed as near threatened by the IUCN. Habitat loss, fragmentation, and disease from domestic dogs are the main threats to their survival. Though rarely seen in the wild due to their secretive habits, they remain present across much of their range, and in zoos worldwide where they are easier to observe. Do you think the bush dog's greatest challenge today is habitat loss, disease from domestic dogs, or something else? Let us know in the comments below. The Chacoan peccary is the largest of the 3 living peccary species and is found in the Gran Chaco region of Paraguay, Bolivia, and northern Argentina. First described from fossils in the 1930s, it was believed to be extinct until living populations were discovered in 1975, making it a classic Lazarus species. Nicknamed the pigs from green hell, Chacoan peccaries inhabit one of the most inhospitable environments in South America. The Gran Chaco, covering over 140,000 square kilometers, is a hot, dry landscape dominated by thorny scrub, cacti, and sparse trees. Their thickened skin and tough mouths allow them to push through spiny vegetation and feed on cacti, roots, and other hardy plants. Specialized adaptations, such as large sinuses for filtering dust and regulating temperature, help them survive in these harsh conditions. They live in small herds, usually avoiding humans, and are rarely seen due to the remoteness of their habitat. Today, the Chacoan peccary is classified as endangered, threatened by deforestation, habitat loss, and hunting. Its rediscovery in the 1970s not only overturned assumptions about its extinction but also underscored the importance of protecting the fragile ecosystems of the Gran Chaco. The Pinocchio lizard is a rare, long-nosed anole found in the cloud forests of northwestern Ecuador. Males are instantly recognizable by their elongated, flexible snouts, which are used in courtship displays and possibly for species recognition. Females lack the snout, making the species strikingly dimorphic. First described in 1953, the lizard vanished from records for decades and was believed extinct. That changed in 2005, when it was unexpectedly rediscovered near Mindo, Ecuador, after nearly 40 years without confirmed sightings. Since then, only a handful of encounters have been reported, underscoring its rarity. Its apparent disappearance was not due to true extinction, but rather a combination of its elusive behavior and the destruction of Ecuador's cloud forests, which are among the most biodiverse and threatened habitats in the world. Anolis proboscis is now considered endangered, with a small, fragmented population highly vulnerable to deforestation. The Pinocchio lizard's rediscovery has made it an emblem of Ecuador's hidden biodiversity and a conservation priority. Despite its fame, very few people have ever seen one in the wild, as it survives only in remote, difficult-to-access habitats. The Bermuda petrel, locally known as the cahao, is one of the most famous Lazarus species, animals thought extinct but later rediscovered. Believed lost since the early 1600s, when invasive species and overharvesting wiped out nearly all colonies, it vanished from record for more than 300 years. Then, in 1951, a small breeding population was rediscovered on remote islets off Bermuda, making headlines worldwide. Today, the cow remains critically endangered but is a conservation success story. Intensive protection by the Bermuda Department of Environment and Natural Resources in the cow recovery project has increased the population from just 17 pairs in 1951 to more than 150 nesting pairs today. These nocturnal seabirds nest in burrows, returning to the same site each year. Pairs may remain together for decades, raising a single chick annually. They spend most of their lives at sea, only visiting land under the cover of night during the breeding season. Its rediscovery in 1951 launched one of the most celebrated bird conservation programs in history, proving that even species written off for centuries can sometimes be saved. Do you think the cow's recovery is more about luck or conservation effort? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and follow the channel to discover more interesting things. Flying squirrels are a diverse group of nocturnal rodents in the tribe Pyramini, with more than 50 species spread across Asia, Europe, and North America. They do not truly fly but glide using a fur-covered membrane of skin, the patagium, stretched between their limbs. With it, they can travel more than 45 meters between trees, maneuvering with remarkable precision in the forest canopy. While many species remain relatively secure, some Asian flying squirrels are endangered due to deforestation, habitat fragmentation, and hunting. One striking example is the red giant flying squirrel, found in South and Southeast Asia, and a rare large species like the Namdafa flying squirrel in Northeast India, known only from a handful of records. In southwest China, several giant flying squirrel species survive in remote forests, but sightings are scarce. Their secretive nocturnal behavior makes them difficult to study, and population declines often go unnoticed until numbers are critically low. Conservation programs are underway in parts of Asia to safeguard forest habitats and protect threatened species. The plight of endangered flying squirrels highlights the urgent need to preserve old-growth forests, where these unique gliders have thrived for millions of years. The woolly mammoth is one of the best-known Ice Age giants, closely related to modern elephants. Most populations disappeared around 10,000 years ago, likely due to a combination of climate change and human hunting. However, isolated groups survived much longer on St. Paul Island, Alaska, until about 5,600 years ago, and on Wrangel Island, Russia, until around 4,000 years ago. These massive herbivores stood over 3.5 meters tall and weighed up to 6 to 7 tons. They thrived in the Mammoth Steppe, a vast tundra grassland stretching across Eurasia and North America, dominated by grasses, sedges, and shrubs. Their curved tusks and thick coats made them instantly recognizable icons of the Pleistocene world. Frozen remains have been recovered from Siberian permafrost, some so well preserved that DNA has been extracted, fueling modern de-extinction research. The last confirmed evidence of living mammoths is from Wrangel Island. Claims of later sightings, such as a 2012 Siberian video, but are unverified and likely hoaxes or misidentifications. The ivory-billed woodpecker is the largest woodpecker in North America and one of the largest in the world. Once widespread in the old-growth bottomland forests of the southeastern United States and Cuba, it was famous for its striking black and white plumage, long ivory bill, and distinctive double knock call. By the mid-20th century, extensive logging and habitat loss had devastated its range, and the species was widely believed to be extinct. Hope was reignited in 2004, when a series of reports and a brief video from the Big Woods region of Arkansas suggested the bird might still survive. Additional unconfirmed sightings and audio recordings from Louisiana and Florida have kept the debate alive, though none have been universally accepted as proof. The ivory-billed woodpecker has since become a symbol of both loss and resilience. In 2021, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service proposed declaring it extinct, but the decision was delayed after scientists and conservationists argued that the evidence remains inconclusive. Whether or not the species endures, the search for it has fueled important conservation initiatives to protect remaining forest habitats in the southeast. Zephyrus gladius, the Chinese paddlefish, was once one of the largest freshwater fish on Earth, native to the Yangtze River in China. Recognizable by its long, paddle-shaped snout, it could reach lengths of up to 7 meters and weigh nearly 450 kilograms. Sadly, the species is now extinct. The last confirmed sighting was in 2003, and in 2020, it was formally declared extinct by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. The decline was driven by overfishing, dam construction, and habitat degradation, which disrupted migration routes and spawning grounds. Often called the panda of the Yangtze because of its cultural significance and endangered status, the paddlefish was a symbol of China's freshwater biodiversity. Despite extensive surveys in the Yangtze during the 2010s, no living specimens were found. Although unconfirmed rumors of survival occasionally surface, there is no scientific evidence that any still exist. The loss of the Chinese paddlefish is considered one of the most dramatic extinctions of a megafaunal fish in recent history, serving as a cautionary reminder of how quickly human activity can erase even the most iconic species. Which of these rediscoveries surprised you the most? Have you ever encountered any rare or unusual animals in the wild? Share your experiences in the comments below. If you've made it this far, it means you really care. Don't just stop at the like button, hit that hype too. It only takes a few seconds, but it helps this video reach way more people. And if you're curious about other mysterious creatures that might still be out there, check out my video on cryptids that scientists are actively searching for. Thanks for being with us. Leave a comment, like to show your support, and remember to hit that subscribe button for more exciting videos. See you next time.